Good morning. Hello. So join me a little while today as we sit and visit. That's what we do is we sit and visit. I visit with you sweet people. Proverbs 16:3. Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish your plans. Well, that's a good thing because I don't know hardly what my plans are today, but I've already been busy. You're probably not interested, but maybe you are. We have 4 cats. So they weren't very happy with the wet cat food I was buying them. So I got this other kind. And it was chunks in gravy. And you know what they did? They just licked the gravy and left the chunks. And I opened about 5 cans, each day. Well, not every day, but I'd open a can a day. And of course, all 4 of them, they share. They would lick that gravy fast. And then they weren't eating the little chunks. So I would mash them up and try to make them taste good. They didn't like that. So this morning, I took the rest. It run like $24 for 30 cans or something, 5-ounce cans. So I took them back to Walmart and got my money back. And I bought another kind that I do know they like. Of course, my cats mainly live on dry cat food. And I buy good all-around dry cat food. And it's little because Big Tom, when he got run over, his mouth is not exactly right. But he can still chew that little grains. And that Rachel Ray makes some that he just loves for senior cats. And he's a senior now. Those cats keep me entertained. And they keep James entertained. So this morning, we let him go out because he was a feral cat. And he was always used to going outside. And once he got used to being inside some, he will live inside with you for a while. And then he wants to go outside again. So of a morning when I get up, and I get up about 4 o'clock. I wake up. I get up. I fix me a coffee and drink my coffee at home. And then we have McDonald's later, which we pick up on the way to the Y or after the Y usually. And then I bring it here and I drink it while I'm talking to y'all. And I can go like this, and it keeps my hands busy. And I like my coffee. Oh, by the way, I was going to tell you, Grandma Pitty Pat, Chit Chat Granny Pat, we're friends. And so she sent me a little text and said, I want you to look at the one I did, number 29, on all her videos. And if you go to Chit Chat Granny Pat, you can go up and find 29. So I did that one. I looked at it, and I'm a little chubby, and my belly was laughing like a bowl full of, it was shaking like a bowl full of jelly. I was chuckling so much, I laughed out loud at that story. She did it live, and it was just cute as it could be. A couple of years ago, she did that. So y'all check out 29. And then later she said, if you want to laugh for the day, check out 59. And so this morning, I got up early, 4 o'clock, and I pulled it up, and I had it ready to go when I went walking. So we went walking, James and I, and he walks a lot faster than I do. I walk slower. So he goes around, he usually grabs my hand for a minute and squeezes it as he passes me. But as he came behind me this morning, he said, did I hear you laughing as you was walking? Yes, I said I was. He said, what are you laughing at? I said, Granny Pat, on that 59 video she made. So later when we got home, and I filled him in on it, and he was sitting laughing. So the Bible says a merry heart doeth good like a medicine. And we had our medicine today. Thank you, Pat. So they were so good. And if she's got any more, I want her to let me know which ones they are. She's got over 400 videos on. And I didn't know anything about Granny Pat until I've got my videos, and I looked up all the grannies. And there are 4 of them. The one in Georgia, Helen in Georgia, and she's a sweet lady. And I watch her on and off, but she runs for about 2 hours, and I don't watch. I fast forward her sometimes, but she's sweet as she can be. And then all around grandma, she's our black grandma, and I like watching her. And then not as steady as I do some of the others, but let's see, that was 2 of the grandmas, and then of course I found Pat, Chit Chat Granny Pat, and so I've been I subscribed to her. But, you know, I never did make comments or anything. Nobody told me about, I don't know, I was doing shows, so I didn't comment on anybody's, you know. So, anyway, then her and Billie Jean got together, just me, Billie Jean, and he's fun. He cooks, he's a chef. He takes care of his mother, and he's got a really good channel, just me, Billie Jean. But me and James was laughing so much. So, anyway, Pat and I have kind of got acquainted through texting, and I'm so different from her, and she's so different from me, but that's what makes life interesting. So I've been watching her a long time, and how she got started and everything, and I've looked at a lot of her videos, but I have not looked at 300 or 400 videos of Granny Pat, and I've got about, I don't know how many I got on now, but I might have that many, because I don't know, but I put on a lot. But if you want to look at some funny ones I have, I like the one I did, my $200 wedding to number 3. That was a good one. And then about the killer bra, that was a good one. And so I have some good ones on too. So you can go through our videos, and if a title catches you, you can watch it. And that's the way I did with Granny Pat. Now, she did one lately that I have not got to watch yet, about her early married life. I've got to catch that one a little later. Tell you the truth, I don't have time to watch everybody I want to watch. Of course, there's Mrs. Peach, Thrifty Living. She does a lot of cooking and stuff, and plays the piano and sings religious, you know, church songs that everybody knows. And she's a sweet lady. That's another grandma, and I just recently found out about her because it don't advertise that she's a grandma. But she's about 76 or something. I don't know. So there's some of us grandmas out there. Now, what else? Oh, yeah. So I was James. He brings in these magazines of all kinds that he finds in these houses he does. So he bought this one in, American Heritage and Paris, Discovering the City That Jefferson Loved. And I like looking at them. And I love reading. So anyway, I was going through this magazine, and I found a car like my daddy owned. See that? That is a 1931 Ford Model A. That's a 1931. Now, Dad had one, and it has a rumble seat. See the rumble seat back here? See that? That's, somebody could ride back there. And now when I went fishing with him when I was 5 years old, I rode up front, but that's where he threw all the fish. Now this is a model that they would sell you, made of metal, out of this magazine that was published in, I think, 1994 or something. Really old. He picks up these old magazines, and he likes to go through them. He likes to reminisce. So anyhow, Daddy had one of them, and I don't think it looked that sharp, because Dad's was black, I remember, and it wasn't that sharp, I guarantee you. But I have told you before how we went fishing, and we went to the river, and he said, and he didn't have no fishing pole. And Andy, 967 Andy, who stood up our wedding, he's on YouTube, and he's got some good stuff. You just have to look at his. So anyhow, he runs me a lot, and I got to learn how to do that, Andy. But anyway, he tells about, we went fishing, and so Daddy didn't have a fishing pole. I said, how are you going to fish? And so he pulls out a stick of dynamite and throws it in the middle of this river that wasn't real deep. It was really a wide creek, I guess, and there was fish everywhere. And he threw him in the rumble seat, and we took fish home for everybody. It was amazing. I couldn't believe how many fish we had. And Daddy said to me, don't you ever tell anybody we did that. And I didn't until I started doing videos. And yesterday I realized what a stage YouTube is. And of course, when I was a little girl, I mean, I've always liked to be the center of attention because I'm the oldest of all them kids, and I was boss. And now, James, my number 3 husband, when I married him, before we got married, we was courting, and he came over to my house where I was living, and I had a tree in the front yard that needed cutting. It was a walnut tree, and that thing drove me crazy because the walnuts would, my parking place was under that walnut tree, and it was here when I moved here, and those walnuts would follow my car, and it was terrible. And then you run over them, and you got walnuts everywhere. Of course, sometimes we ate them. I'd save them, and oh, there comes him home now. So he'll hear me talking, but I'm going to finish this story. So anyway, he was cutting this tree down, and there was a man up the tree cutting off limbs, and he was going this way, that way, this. And my next door neighbors saw him doing that. She said, now, if you marry him, he'll be doing that to you. And sure enough, that's the truth. But guess what? He taught me how to do it. And now, sometimes when like if he's going down the road and we need to get in the next lane, I just go, don't say a word, just. So I have learned how to do that. All right, I'm going to let you go. Got to go take care of business. When you're married, you have duties you got to do. So it's almost lunchtime. Fact is, so I'm going to be fixing lunch for him, whatever he wants. Talk to you later. God bless you, and walk that path where Jesus would be pleased with you. Bye-bye.